So here, what's happening, folks? Are you living your best life? The key to beating this pandemic is mastering your mindset. That's it. I mean, that's the long and the short. And as I work with different clients worldwide, I'm finding, they're growing weary. They're growing very weary. And now more than ever, I know I said that in week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. Here in San Francisco, we don't even have an open date. And we're working really hard virtually because it's what we've been given. Mastering your mindset is going to be vital. Vital. Not only as we come out of this thing, but in moving forward, right? In the months to come. The way it's looking, I'm hearing crazy figures, but 30 to 50% of martial arts schools are closing. So that's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. But what it's going to provide is opportunities for other martial arts schools to dominate their demographic. I mean, that's the truth. If you're in a community where there used to be, 4 to 5 martial arts schools, maybe there's going to be 1, and that's going to be your school and your school alone. So as we see things change, right, people won't have money to spend on martial arts because they're rebuilding their lives, right? Not a lot of people are going to have jobs to go back to. But if the other 3 or 4 martial arts schools are closed in your neighborhood, you're the only one open, you're going to get the people that can afford to do martial arts, that want to get back to it. You feel me? So look at it that way too. And smart business, right? I'm going to call him out by name. Emerson Wong, smart man. He chose to close 2 of his locations. It makes sense. It makes sense, right? Because to recover from that and rebuild that business, it's better to take a loss. It's better to do that than it is to continue to try to dig yourself out of a hole or continue to dig yourself into a hole. So I see that too. And if you look at all the Cheesecake Factory, gone, right? Sometimes closing is smart, and I'm going to weigh that out too myself, right? I told my bookkeeper, let's take a look at that. What would that look like if we ended up having to close 1 location? At what point do we say that the hole we're digging ourselves into is going to be way too hard to dig ourselves out, and it's going to take too many years? Sometimes you got to cut your losses and start rebuilding now, right? So that's going to become something we'll look at as well. And it's not a horrible thing, right? You didn't fail. It might be smart business. So that's what I'm saying. Your mindset is really crucial. And I had filed bankruptcy when I was 25, 26 years old. I was a young buck, just really stupid. But I remember a year ago when I spoke at Harvard at the My Studio event, the professor said to us, bankruptcy in all business circles, you know what it's really looked at as? A do-over. A do-over. It's a do-over. That's pretty cool, right? So when you see these companies go bankrupt, don't be surprised if you see them resurface again, because you're allowed to do over. What? Our own president has filed bankruptcy several times, right? Several times. So don't look at it as the most horrible thing for those of you in business that have never been through it, especially now more than ever, because you can rebuild. There are repercussions. I remember being a young buck when I filed bankruptcy. I couldn't even rent an apartment. I had to get a co-signer and everything. But business bankruptcies, I don't know how they're looked at because I've never filed a business bankruptcy. And I'm not in that position today, but businesses that are doing it, big businesses, right? There's big businesses out there doing that right now. It's a smart move. It's a smart move. And sometimes it's a strategic move. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. Nobody's going to judge you for that or look at you in a bad way. Sometimes you've got to know when to close up shop and move on. So as we get deeper into this, right now we're good. Today we're good. So I'm not in that position. So I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying smart business is looking at every different model, much like this pandemic. People at the CDC, they're looking at every model, every potential that can and cannot happen through this, right? It's the same thing here. I'm going to look at every different model, every different scenario in my business to determine what is the best choice to make for my business, for my team, right? For my family. All of that are factors. And sometimes you got to lose the battle to win the war, right? You've heard that before. So mindset is everything. And now more than ever, I believe martial artists have a skill set to being a great martial artist. They have a skill set to being a great instructor. But that skill set to being a great small business owner is not what you need right now. What you need is the mindset of being an entrepreneur, right? So whatever skill set you lack, study it. Google right now, what are the advantages of bankruptcy, right? During this pandemic. You might find some good data to serve you, right? I'm not advocating it today for my business, but I'm saying if that comes across the pipeline and you need to do that and it's a smart choice, really consider it. Consider it, right? Because we'll live another day. We'll figure that out, right? And if you have the mindset, whether you're sitting on a rock eating a Twinkie or you're sitting in a restaurant eating a $400 steak, you have the mindset of being a successful, whole person. So I want you to think about that right now as we're coming down this, when I read that, I went, wow, right? This pandemic's not over. We're months away from it. We're looking at our camp numbers. San Francisco, we're nowhere near being open at this point at all. So we're looking at camps. We're keeping our virtual going. And I encourage you to do the same. Cool? Hey, I'm Brannon Bliso. Mindset. That's the key to this, being successful through this pandemic. Cool. All right, until we talk again, you go home, open your school, get ready for camps, do what you got to do.